With everything else that is going on in the world right now, this story kind of flew right under the radar. But I've been keeping my eyes on it for the past couple of days because, for those of you all who have not heard by now, a satanic group in Kansas recently announced their plans to hold a black mass ceremony literally at the state capitol. Now, if you don't know what a black mass ceremony is, basically it's a demonic, blasphemous, sacrilegious parody of a Catholic mass. Sometimes it involves body fluids and stuff that we can't even really talk about here. So if you want to do your own research, if you want to learn more, then go ahead, but beware. Because some of these ceremonies involve some pretty disturbing stuff, to say the least. But anyways, after these plans were announced, naturally a lot of people in the area got upset. But most people thought that this group was bluffing. They thought this group was just saying this to rile people up, until the leader of this group, I don't want to name him because I do not want to give him more publicity than he's already gotten by me simply making this video. But the leader of this group started talking to the local media. And then he started talking to bigger media outlets. Basically doing the media rounds, doubling down on these plans to have this black mass ceremony at the state capitol. And then accusations started coming out. A local Catholic church accused this man of stealing communion bread from their church, or consecrated bread, whatever you want to call it. He's accused of stealing this bread from a local Catholic church to use in this black mass ceremony. Now, this is when the governor stepped in, local lawmakers and officials stepped in, and they said, hey, you're not going to have this ceremony. We're not going to allow this to happen. Well, spoiler alert, they did not stop anything from happening, because this satanic group, they showed up today. Today was the day they had planned, and they showed up today, but things did not go as they expected. Let's just say that. I would say, if I'm being generous, maybe 30 to 35 people showed up to take part in this black mass. A bunch of freaking weirdos. But on the other hand, hundreds of Catholics showed up to counter-protest. And there were a couple of fights. I can't show the fights here. Go follow me on X if you have not already. If you want to see some of the fights go down, I'll post the videos over there. But a lot of chaos broke out, and long story short, two of the leaders of this group got arrested. I'm going to play some footage, and then I'll be back to talk a little bit more about this black mass ceremony.
In my capacity as priest, I force you, whether you will it or not, to descend into this host and incarnate thyself into this bread. Jesus, partisan of hoaxes, bandit of homages, robber of the affection, hear me. Oh, you lasting foulness of Bethlehem, we command you and confess you. We command you to confess your impunity, your inaccessible crimes. We would drive the nails deeper into your hands. We would press down the crown of thorns on your brow. We would bring the blood from dry wounds on your side. This we can and will do today by violating the quietude of your body, you purveyor of ample vices. You obstructor of stupid purities. Curse Nazarene, impotent king, fugitive God, silence God.
Before the mighty and after the prince of darkness,
Jesus Christ is King.
in the presence and the company, I acknowledge and confess my past.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum benedictus.
Saint Joseph, terror of demons, Our Lady of Victory, Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. fourth sorrowful mystery, the carrying of the cross. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
And we don't believe that we have to be nice to do that.
Before moving inside, Mike Stewart led a brief satanic ritual outside on the steps of the State House. The president and founder of the Satanic Grotto says holding a black mass in public brings the group's message to light.
And what the issue is that we're not all being treated the same here in Kansas, not by the rules, not by the legislature, and in fact we have groups like the Kansas Catholic Conference who are pushing agendas and trying to silence us and keep us out of the way.
Participants dressed in black, many adorned with horns or other symbolic items, as they ripped up pages from the Bible, broke popsicle stick crosses, and stomped on a communion wafer while reading Satanist literature. A counter-demonstrator tried to stop the wafer from being broken.
God, silence, God!
He was led away by law enforcement.
They have a pattern of demonizing other groups. And the great thing that we're doing now is that we're able to come in and say we get to define what that means now. This is our religion.
Guys, sometimes I just feel like I don't even know what's going on in the world anymore. It's hard constantly trying to make sense of things while everything is just going balls to the wall crazy around you. It's like everything and everyone is off the chain. And I feel like that meme of that dog sipping tea as the entire house burns down around me. That's literally how I feel every single day these days. But before I go any further into this rant about this black mass, people often ask how can they support the channel? And it's really simple. You could support the channel by simply liking the video, dropping a comment below, hitting that subscribe button. But if you want to take things a step further, you could always drop a super thanks or donate to the Cash App. It's always appreciated. But anyways, let's get back into this black mass situation, shall we? So looking at this situation overall, I'm obviously disgusted by this ceremony. But I'm just as equally not disgusted but pleased by this overall situation because it's nice, it's refreshing seeing Catholics and Christians take a stand for what they believe in. Because if you look at the world around you, it's easy to see that Catholics and Christians have become the punching bag of the world. You cannot mock, you cannot ridicule, you cannot make fun of, you cannot criticize any other religious group or any other religious beliefs. But there's always an open pass to make fun of Jesus, to mock Christians, to mock Catholics. And for the most part, Catholics and Christians take this lying down. But I hope that people see what's actually happening around them. And I hope they wake up to what's happening around them soon, before it's too late. And if it takes a bunch of satanic weirdos gathering together to do their stupid ceremonies at the state capitol to wake people up to what's going on in the world around them, then so be it. I think it was pretty entertaining and nice seeing people show up in modern day Christian crusader outfits as the satanic weirdos were out there mocking Jesus Christ. I think it's an appropriate response. I think it was nice seeing the Catholics and Christians vastly outnumber the Satanists or whatever they call themselves. So I try to find the good in every situation. And I know it's hard to, hey, let's try to find the good in the black mass at the state capitol. But that's the good I found in this situation. As evil as this is, I wish things like this were not happening. Even though I support free speech, I support the right to protest. I can't support this. So, even though this is happening, and obviously it's terrible, it's evil, it's whatever you want to call it, it's nice seeing that Christians and Catholics are taking a stand against the mockery, right? Because we don't see Christians and Catholics take a stand against the mockery much, at least in the modern age. So, for the first time in a while, we're seeing people take a stand to, I think if you really look at it, maybe I didn't notice it as much when I was younger, but over recent years, it's gotten terrible. And I say this as someone that's not even extremely religious. Like the mocking of Christianity and the mocking of Christ on a constant basis, whether it's coming from Hollywood or it's coming from weirdos like that showed up at the state capitol today. It's always something. And I feel like I support anyone and their beliefs. If you're not hurting someone, do what you do, right? But at the same time, I acknowledge reality. And even though I'm not the most religious person in the world, I can acknowledge that our country has been on the decline, right? Our country has been spiraling ever since we moved further away from religion. Now, I'm not saying that you have to believe in this or you have to believe in that. I'm not saying that everyone has to have this religion or that religion. But the reality that we have to acknowledge, regardless of what your beliefs are, is that our country has been on a decline ever since we moved further away from religion. And maybe you could just blame it on the structure that certain religions provide in people's life. Sometimes when people don't have that structure, they crash out, they go crazy, they do horrible things. I think that's maybe what we're witnessing right now. The further we move away from God, the further we move away from our religions and our religious beliefs, the crazier things get. And I think that's a good explanation for a lot of the wickedness that we're witnessing in today's world. Because there's no denying that things are worse now than they were a few years ago, a decade ago, 2 or 3 decades ago. Now, what was different about those time periods? In those time periods, the majority of people, not everyone, but the majority of people were more religious, right? They were more involved in the church. They were more involved in whatever religious practices they had. And as we move further away from that, we're witnessing society decay. So it doesn't matter what you believe in or what I believe in. What matters is the reality that we're living in. And the reality that we're living in currently is a reality that has moved farther away from religion, and everyone is suffering because of it, regardless of what your religious beliefs are. So I think today was a good start. Maybe we need more of these satanic weirdos showing up at state capitals for Christians and Catholics to finally wake up. Because everything else that's going on in the world, it has not been enough. Maybe this will be. But for now, you guys let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.